Citizen initiative looking to get an extreme risk protection order measure or red flag law on the November ballot submitted their signatures today.
Keenan Mills has the story.
I am so proud to announce today that in just over 2 short months, we collected more than 80,000 signatures from Maine voters. And we are going to the ballot this year.
Starting on Election Day, the Maine Gun Safety Coalition began collecting signatures to put a proposed red flag law on the November ballot. If passed, the measure would be in addition to Maine's current yellow flag law, which allows law enforcement to confiscate a person's firearms if there is a safety concern. Supporters say while this new measure won't fix everything, it's an important step.
There is no single policy that will end all gun violence, but extreme risk protection orders provide a life-saving tool. They save lives by empowering family members to go directly to a court to petition when a loved one is in crisis and may pose a threat to themselves or others.
Supporters cited personal experiences with losing someone to gun violence. Arthur Bernard lost his son, Arthur Strout, in the Lewiston mass shooting.
It's time for voters to have their say. And while any victory in this effort, for me, is bittersweet, I'm proud to be here today as we send this measure to the ballot.
Opponents say they have issues with the lack of due process, as well as the way the Maine Gun Safety Coalition collected their signatures. In a statement from the gun owners of Maine, they said in part, "We feel confident that should their signatures be certified, their citizens' initiative will be defeated at the ballot box." Supporters say the yellow flag law involves all the same due process protections that a red flag law would.
Not only that, but this law exists in 21 other states in the nation, and there have been similar claims of due process violations, and none of those has been upheld in court.
The signatures were delivered to the Secretary of State's office. If enough are certified, the measure will be voted on in November. Keenan Mills, WABI News, Augusta.